Our next video for the day, ladies and gentlemen, live on twitch.tv/OmarioRpg is going to be... Shit, I've forgotten what it is. It's basically 101 Hunter x Hunter things that are different from the manga. And I'm super curious about it. Hopefully it's a good video. Shout out to the person who made the video, Satsuki the Savage. Pretty cool name. And let's get straight into it. Go. Gone! Sorry.
What is going on, guys? Satsuki the Savage here. And
Satsuki,
today
okay.
It's going to be a very special video. It's a video I've been working on months upon months, all right? Today is 100 and plus.
I'm purely watching this because he's a Miami Heat fan, same as me.
Hunter x Hunter manga.
It's not Hunter,
anime
it's Hunter x Hunter.
All right. Now, for this video, what I had to do was I started with the manga of Hunter x Hunter from chapter 1, and I will read a couple of chapters and then I will watch the corresponding episode. So I basically watched all of the anime and all of the manga together around the same time, all right? And yeah, that's what I had to do to make this video. Now, keep in mind, with these manga and anime differences, a lot of them are really minor, all right? So it's not like,
well, Hisoka will like that.
100 like big changes that happen in the anime and the manga, but there are some. But keep in mind, again, a lot of these are very minuscule, all right? But with that being said, let's get started. So what I'm going to do, if anyone wants to fact
Who the
check me,
hell is
or
that
if they want
guy?
to see the differences for themselves, I'm going to have the anime episode in the top left corner, the manga chapter in the bottom left corner, and I'll have this right here in the top right corner so we can count up the anime and manga differences.
Okay.
In chapter 1, Kite is introduced. In the anime, Kite isn't introduced into the Chimera Ant arc. In the manga, Gon and Mito don't do the pinky swear thing that they did in the anime.
Okay, I'm giving him a chance here. He's reaching a bit here, but he did say there would be minor differences.
In the manga, the captain of the ship allows the passengers to row to the nearest island after the first storm. In the anime, the captain simply fails the passengers who got sick after the first storm. In the manga, the captain teaches Gon how to man a ship. This is absent in the anime. In the manga, Leorio gets mad at Kurapika for calling him Ryo.
What the hell did they do to my boy? Ain't no way this is a real panel. What the hell happened to him? There's no way that's that's not real. There's no way that's real.
This is absent in the anime. In the manga, Leorio gets mad at Kurapika for calling him Ryolio. In the anime, Leorio gets mad at Kurapika for not using the song honorific when addressing him.
Nah, they should have done that in the anime, bro. What? Ryolio?
Since he's older. Kurapika in the manga is shown to have extraordinary hearing, as he could tell there were people in what looked to be a ghost town just by listening to the sounds of their breathing. This is important because the anime altered how Kurapika knew the secret of the two-choice quiz. In the manga, Kurapika figures out there was no right answer by hearing the screams of the guy who went before them. In the anime, Kurapika figures out there was no right answer because an enraged Leorio blurts out,
"Is that
there
tampon?
is no right answer." In the manga, Nicholas is the first applicant to drop out. In the anime, he lasts longer. In the manga, Gon mentions Kite to Killua. In the manga, Hisoka kills both the fake examiner and the man-face ape. In the anime, he only kills the fake examiner, but lets the man-face ape escape. In the manga, the claymore mushroom explodes on contact, then spreads spores on its prey. In the anime, it just releases spores and mushrooms grow on the prey's body. In the anime, Kurapika and Leorio fight the Nog and Lucan tortoise, and Killua and Gon fight the frog and Waiting. In the manga, fodder examinees instead fight them. In the anime, a group of examinees make a decision to jump Hisoka since he's a killer, but in the manga, Hisoka kills multiple people first unprovoked because he was bored. In the manga, Leorio tanked one of Hisoka's cars that hit his arm. In the manga, examinee number 76 wasn't killed by Hisoka. In fact, he was the one that came up with the plan to split up and run away. The structure of the second phase of the Hunter exam is...
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
different, which was the cooking with Menchi and Buhara. In the manga, the examinees had to roast pork to satisfy Buhara, then make sushi to satisfy Menchi. In the anime, the examinees had to make a pork dish to satisfy both Menchi and Buhara. In the manga,
I'd satisfy her with so many dishes.
when Menchi refuses to pass anyone, she talks directly to Beans. In the anime, Satos has to call Beans to get the chairman involved. In the manga, there is no updraft at the ravine when the examinees had to boil the spider eagle eggs. As far as the manga showed, no one dies in this test. In the anime, at least 4 people fall to their deaths.
Yeah, but
in the
Greg and
anime,
Larry
the psychology of rock, paper, scissors was more fleshed out and explained why Leorio chose.
This was such a good scene. All these scenes with the people they had to fight. I forgot about this. I didn't forget about it, but it's underrated. Underrated little arc in an arc.
What he chose. The backstory of Jonas was altered a tad bit. In the anime, the commonality.
Let me guess. They actually showed the heart in the manga. Yes, we get it, guys.
The of his victims is that he killed them all with his bare hands, but in the manga, the theme with him is that none of his victims were left in less than 50 pieces. In the manga, Killua crushes the heart of Jonas after he asks for a bat. In the anime, he
wait. Did he just wait? Can I get a replay of how he said Killua's name?
Manga, Killua crushes the.
Are we saying it wrong, or is he saying it right? Is it actually Killua? Killua? No, Killua. I swear they say Killua. Bro, I've listened to the VAs. Nobody says Killua. Killua. They don't say Killua. See, now I'm second guessing. They do? They must say it so quick then. Killua!
The heart of Jonas after he asks for a bat.
Now I'm right there wrong.
He places it in his hand after he dies. The first half of episode 12 is canon filler. During the 50-hour penalty that Gon's group suffered, the anime showed us what happened in that time, while the manga just skipped over it. In the anime, Gon figures out he could break the walls to get to the shore an easy path because of the fight between Leorio and Tompa. In the manga, Gon figures this out because Jonas breaks the walls with
thank you so much for the sub.
Also, the Tompa and Leorio fight didn't happen. In the manga, Gon felt depressed.
What?
Leorio and Tompa. In the manga, Gon figures this out because Jonas breaks the walls with his bare hands. Also, the Tompa and Leorio fight didn't happen.
So, who decides to do the changes in the anime? Is it just, you know, like the writers of Game of Thrones? They just said, yeah. Or do they have to ask the mangaka to make sure it's okay? I'm always okay with adding little additions like that. That was hilarious. I'm so happy they did that. But it's when you change the story that's the problem, as we've seen with Game of Thrones, as we've seen with the Witcher shows. I wonder if there have been mangas that were super successful, but the writers had a massive ego and they changed it when they made an anime. They just wanted to make their own anime, but they used the name of that manga, if that makes sense. I guarantee you that's probably happened.
In the manga, Gon felt the presence of Garetta early in the 4th phase. In the anime, he never detected him at all. The anime censors the death of Garetta. In the manga, Hisoka cuts his head clean off and walks around with it, but in the anime, he's just dead somehow. When Killua steals the badge from Imori and throws the other badges from the Amori brothers, in the anime he deliberately switches the badges 197 and 198 mid-throw because he knew Hanzo was following them. In the manga, we never see Killua deliberately switch the badges, so
I don't like how they're saying his name.
Wrong with running after the badge. Alright, so this is one big difference that concerns Jing and Kite. When Poco meets up with Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika after orientation, in the manga, Gon mentions Jing to Poco. Poco then tells the trio about the internet and a communication system unique to hunters. After this conversation, Gon asks Satos about a hunter license that he's been carrying around that wasn't his. We learned that the hunter license was Jing's and it was dropped by Kite, and also the hunter that Satos admired was Jing. Later we see how important Jing is after.
In the anime, he gives him the license, what's it called? Kite gives it to him later on. Episode 76, I believe. The episode where Kite meets Pisu. I believe it's that episode where him and Gon have a special moment, and he gives him Jing's old hunter license, I believe. So he already had it with him in the manga?
Around that wasn't his. We learned that the hunter license was Jing's and it was dropped by Kite, and also the hunter that Satos admired was Jing. Later we see how important Jing is after Kurapika searches him up on the internet, but his information is classified. In the anime,
and there was probably a lot of fan fiction on Reddit as well.
However, when Poco approaches Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika, he is the one to search up Jing, not Kurapika. Then he tells the trio how important he is. Satos overhears this conversation and brings up the person that he admired was Jing. So in the anime, Kite was still never mentioned, nor was Jing Hunter's license ever shown yet. There are a couple of...
I feel like they messed up with Kite a little bit in the anime. I'm hearing. God, she looks badass. I want to get to know her so bad. Wait, I want to know more about her so bad. Why the hell did I just say it like that? What woman are you into? Cyclopses. I feel like they messed up with Kite a little bit because of what happened to him later on in the show. It's probably going to get spoiled anyway for people who are here who haven't watched the show, but we'll keep it quiet. Because of what happened to him later on in the show, I feel like the more he should have been mentioned, the harder hitting it would have been. It was already hard hitting. It could have been like from a 9 to a 10. Do you know what I mean? And meeting him as well, the first time we met him, would have been a lot cooler as well. Now, obviously, you could talk about the screen time as well, but I'm just talking about even before seeing him. It seems in the manga, he's been mentioned a few times, and the Gon meeting him thing at the beginning. I'm okay with them moving that to like later on. Gon remembering it, or was it Kite who told Gon that he'd met him before? But yeah, they should have just done what the manga did, in my opinion, with Kite. So far.
Deviations with episodes 40 and 41.
It also would have added so much more reasoning. And I'm not saying there wasn't a lot of reasoning for Gon to be so angry because of what happened, but it would have added on top of it.
First, there's an anime original scene where Kikyo talks to Killua while he is chained up, and Killua declares that Gon will definitely open the testing gate. Second, the training sequence was much more fleshed out in the anime. In the manga, most of the training was off-panel. Third, the scene where Kurapika, Leorio, and Gon open
in the manga, what was the term he used? Sorry, I don't eat mangoes very often.
Most of the training was off-panel. Third...
Did he say off-panel? Man, this guy's got a thick accent. I don't know where he's from. Panel. Off panel. I'm assuming that's just like to your imagination.
The scene where Kurapika, Leorio, and Gon open the testing gate together didn't happen in the manga. In fact, it was stated by Zebro that the trio could open the gates by themselves, and that Leorio could even open 2 gates.
Wait.
Together panel. Third, the scene where Kurapika, Leorio, and Gon open the testing gate together didn't happen in the manga. In fact, it was stated by Zebro that the trio could open the gates by themselves, and that Leorio could even open 2 gates. Fourth, it was stated in the manga that Seiya Quan is a hunter, a blacklist hunter to be exact.
Why did they do my boy Leorio dirty, man?
In episode 24, there was a lot of anime original scenes where it showed the origin of Canary and Killua's relationship, whereas in the manga, there was only 1 page of backstory concerning those two. We learned that Canary is from Meteor City, home to the Fantatru, and a place that was mentioned early in the anime. In the manga, Meteor City wasn't mentioned until chapter 102. We see Killua using Rhythm Echo at age 9. Saquon's story is expanded because we see Canary's fight with his group, where she also used Rhythm Echo.
I can't tell if you're trolling.
The flashback showed that Kikyo was the deterrent in Killua being friends with Canary. There's a bit of censorship because while Miluki is quote-unquote punishing Killua, in the manga, he burns her with a cigar. This is absent in the anime. While there are a lot of differences in character designs from the anime to the manga,
I can't wait to see what happens with Killua's sister.
While there are
her arc. I'm obviously, you know, we can only talk about when when I say I can't wait to see. I'm just going to say it from now. You know, God willing, the mangaka gets better and writes. You know, I'm talking about if it obviously finishes before someone writes, you know, whatever. But yeah, if that happens, and I don't want to say that every time I have a theory, so I'm just going to assume it's going to be finished. I have a feeling her arc is going to be so good because she's in such an interesting position. She is with the what the hell are those losers called? The Phantom Troop. She's with the she's with the Phantom Troop, but she's part of Zoldyck. Sorry. So like, we also don't. Why did she go to the Phantom Troop? Do we know, or have I just forgotten? Because what happens if she's ever in a sticky situation where the Zoldicks need her, but the Phantom Troop do as well? You see what I mean? Like, there's so many ways they can go with her story. Maybe she's gonna be like in a situation where she has to fight Killua. Bro, I'm just saying.
A lot of differences in character designs from the anime to the manga. Kato stands out because he looks a lot more feminine in the manga. In the manga, Gon mentions two goals he wants to accomplish. The immediate one is to punch Hisoka in the face and return his badge. The second is to return Jin's hunter license to Kite, the latter being omitted in the anime. After Kurapika gets turned down by the agency because of his lack of knowledge about Nin, in the anime, right after this he meets Izunavi, but in the manga, we first see Izunavi in chapter 83.
This guy was just a straight up plot device, wasn't he? In the anime. I wish they did with him what they did with Wing-san. It probably would have taken way too long. But what they did with Wing-san with Gon and Killua, it would have been cool to see more of this guy. Right? But I get why you got to cut stuff out, or maybe he wasn't in the manga a lot, like they said.
After a flashback during Kurapika's fight with Evogan. In the fight between Hisoka and Castro, after Hisoka has his right arm severed, in the manga, Hisoka grabs his arm and then eats a part of it before throwing it up in the air. I don't know why he did this, but this was absent in the anime.
They should have added that. There's things that they haven't added for Hisoka that they 100% should have added. The guy's just a psycho. In the anime, obviously he's a bit of a nonce, we know that, but he's a bit sometimes. Yeah, it's Hisoka, funny Hisoka, but he's a perv, but never mind. He's still evil, but like, I feel like these things were much more needed to like proper like add like, not that he wasn't creepy, but you know, this guy's a like, I don't know.
In the manga, after the death of Castro, the narrator goes into detail as to why Castro lost and how. In the anime, the narration is replaced by a conversation between Machi and Hisoka after the match. When Gon sets up his fight with Hisoka over the phone, in the manga, he's wearing clothes, but in the anime, he's butt-ass naked. The second time Gon, Killua, and Zushi do the water divination test, in the manga, Gon goes first, then Killua, and Zushi doesn't go at all. But in the anime, Killua goes first, then Zushi, then Gon. In the manga, after Gon and Killua graduate from Ween's lessons, Zushi feels inadequate, but Ween reassures him by saying he is talented, but Gon and Killua have rare talent. In the anime, he quantifies the rarity of his students' talent by saying Zushi is a 1 in 100,000 talent, while Gon and Killua are a 1 in 10 million talent. Before Hisoka and Gon fight and Hisoka gets excited, in the anime, this legendary moment is known as Schwing, but in the the manga, it was known as Shazam. In the manga, when Hisoka talks about his Nen personality test, he only goes over enhancers and transmuters. In the anime, he covers all the Nen categories. However, the manga does cover it in a separate extra page by the end of the chapter. In the manga, Mito says that Gon hasn't called once since he has passed the hunter exam, but in the anime, Mito already knew who Killua was, implying that Gon wrote home or called Mito and let her know about Killua. In the manga, Gon shows Killua where he met Kite and the Fox Bear, and the Fox Bear leads Gon fish. In the manga, Killua buys the Joy Station and the memory card online. In the anime, he buys them from a toy store on Whale Island. Episode 39 had a lot of anime original content where we see Neon's bodyguards before they all initially meet at the mansion. Melody crosses paths with Kurapika and goes to the same agency as him. We see Baze's ability, Instant Lover, used on some random goons. We see Basho beat up some cops on the rooftop while it's a full moon. And we see Swallow talking to his wife Eliza over the phone. In episode 39, we got a bit of censorship because in the manga, Basho was smoking on the couch when we first see him at the mansion. Also, Dalzolane appearing on the monitor with two bitches was omitted in the anime. When Gon and Killua look for information about Greed Island on the Hunter website, in the anime, they actually go into a Nen-based world with the bartender. This is absent in the manga. When Neon is talking on the phone with their father, the anime added a charm to her cell phone, which was pulled from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Which of course is another Togashi series.
In the manga, Leorio is using 10, and we learn that this is the only Nen technique he...
Is that series finished? What was it called? Yo-Yo Hakusho? Or has he just stopped that one? I thought he was only a Hunter x Hunter writer. I didn't know he had other animes. Mangas.
He knows. This is absent in the anime.
Wait, what?
And we learn...
Of course is another Togashi series.
In the manga, Leorio is using 10, and we learn that this is the only Nen technique he knows. This is absent in the anime.
What the hell, bro? They actually nerfed my boy. And he's still the best character in the show. Is that Yo-Yo Hakusho show good? I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to watch it because of Hunter x Hunter being elite. How has no one told me about that? I don't think I've ever heard that anime be recommended to me. Imagine finger guns but real. What? By the way, what? I've forgotten a lot about Nen. What is 10? What is 10? Don't. If someone writes a number, I swear I'm going to break my monitor. The main character is one of my favorites. 5 plus 5. Oh, for God's sake. I swear they said he's good at 10 or something.
Which of course is another Togashi series.
In the manga, Leorio is using 10, and we learn that this is the only Nen technique he knows. This is absent in the anime. When Dalzolane has his call intercepted by the Phantom Troop, we never see how they do it. However, in the anime, we see that Shaunart took control over a mafia member, giving us a first glimpse of his powers. When Uvoken is interrogating a mafia member in an attempt to find Kurapika, in the anime, Uvoken smashes his head into the wall.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He has the information he wants. In the manga, he crushes his head. When Gon and Leorio are pulling off their arm wrestling scam to get money and connections, in the anime, after Gon has beaten a lot of people and rumors spread, a connect to the underground approaches Leorio and invites him to an underground arm wrestling event. In the manga, the underground connect's bodyguard tries to arm wrestle Gon, but since Gon's arm can't reach his, Leorio arm wrestle in his stead and won while also breaking the guy's arm. The underground connect is then impressed.
Why? Who in the anime had a problem with Leorio? This is actually personal. I'm going to say he got bullied by a guy that looked like Leorio when he was younger, and he said, okay. This is Sasuke. We're going to say the guy was called Sasuke when he was in school. And you know what? Sasuke looked like Leorio, and bro, fair enough.
impressed by Leorio and invites him to the underground arm wrestling event. When Zapale stops Killua and Gon for being scammed, in the manga, after opening the statue, they try to auction the jewelry off in it, but then a random guy tries to cheapen the price of the item by stating the different doctoring methods. In the anime, after the merchant tries to scam Gon and Killua, the random guy in the manga is actually a coal merchant, but he has the same role. When Zenji shows his jealousy over Light Nostrade's sudden rise in power, in the manga, he punches him and beats him before Kurapika holds him at knife point. In the anime, Zenji just grabs Light by the collar. In the anime, one of the freelance assassins hired by the 10 Dons was killed by Crollo. In the manga, he is never shown to be killed or shown at all after chapter 95. However, his death was alluded to by Zeno in chapter 98. In the manga, after Nayana is bedridden, Light Nostrade wants to kill the people who harmed his daughter, and he lets Kurapika deal with the Phantom Troop. In the anime, Light is more concerned with his daughter's safety, so he is reluctant to let Kurapika go after the Phantom Troop, initially keeping him guarding Neon until Kurapika convinced him he would be more useful fighting. In the anime, when Leorio and Zapale are drinking, Killua chastises them for goofing off, but in the manga, Killua joins them for a drink too. In the manga, a hacker hired by the mafia.
Nah, the Leario, this is weird. The Leario hate this is weird. I'm seeing a theme. And they still managed, and they tried. They tried so hard. And he was still the best character in the show. Absolutely based. They nerfed him so much. And still, it doesn't matter with Leario. Sorry.
Mafia explains the details of Meteor City and lets us know this is where the Phantom Troop is from. In the anime, Kurapika and Leorio are the ones giving the viewers this information instead. In the manga, after Swallow's death, witnesses in traffic were horrified by Swallow's beheading and Pakunoda shooting Nobunaga and Kortopi, when us viewers know that those two were in no danger. The anime, of course, omits this. In the anime, after Finks fails to troll Kurapika, he is made a Nobunaga and witnesses in traffic were horrified by Swallow's beheading and Pakunoda shooting Nobunaga and Kortopi, when us viewers know that those two were in no danger. The anime, of course, omits this. In the anime, after Finks fails to troll Kurapika, he is punched by Machi and Nobunaga. In the manga, he is punched by Pakunoda and Nobunaga. In the manga, when Gon and Killua eat at a restaurant, they don't have money to cover the meal since real money isn't accepted in Greed Island. We learn that Greed Island has cards that are used as currency, but since Gon and Killua couldn't pay for their meal, they washed the dishes for the restaurant. This is omitted in the anime. In the manga, the first Vintner we see of Genthru has his body split in two for the explosion. Damn. In the anime, his body is still intact. In the anime, when a group collecting cards gathers and
who's Genthru again? Is it this guy? Blonde bomber villain, bro? Bomber. Such a good character.
Manga, the first Vintner we see of Genthru has his body split in two for the explosion. In the anime, his body is still intact. In the anime, when a group collecting cards gathers in their hideout, they give a list for the people to memorize and they do so off screen. In the manga, we get a list of all 40 spell cards. In the
sick. Also, when the hell was Kurapika in this Greed Island? Am I bugging? I just... Oh. You know what? That's not my fault. That's not my fault. That's the mangaka's fault. That's their fault. Hunter x Hunter fan, bro, that looks exactly like him. Don't even troll, that looks exactly like him. It does. That's what you get for making these traps, and that's what you deserve, man.
In the manga, we get a list of all.
This is cool. I'm not reading it all, but it's cool.
All 40 spell cards.
Of course, it's
in the manga, a guy tries to rob Gon and Killua for their Sword of Truth card, but he had a reason. He had a wife at home.
She's just
and he
blonde.
was stuck
Nah,
in the
looked
game.
exactly like
he
him.
also felt guilt about robbing Golden Killua. The manga even gave us his name, Motariko. In the anime, he's pretty much forgettable. In the manga, Golden Killua successfully fooled 3 players before getting jumped by experts. First, Motariko failed to get the Sword of Truth card because Killua put it in his extra slot when Motariko tried to use a card to take another card from a specific slot. Then another guy tries to rob Gon, but since he didn't put the card in his binder, he fails. He tries again, but he ends up stealing a useless rock card. Then another guy tries to activate a spell, but Gon takes it before he can activate it. Then Gon and Killua both get jumped. In the anime, Motariko gets his card snatched by
I
Gon
wonder if
before
the
he can
Greed Island arc was better in the anime for manga fans. Because it probably in dialogue is just so much more confusing. Like, it already sounds like it's too much for me. I would love to know if the manga fans preferred it in the manga or the anime.
activated. In the manga, when Benoit fights Bisky and loses, he spits up blood from Bisky's palm attack. In the anime, he spits up spit. In the anime, Gentru tells players that his countdown bombs are related to their pulse. In the manga, Gentru doesn't mention this, but Abengane figures it out after they realize their countdowns have different numbers. In the manga, before Gon hits a tree to get the King White Stab Beetle card, an overseer offers him a big-ass hammer to hit the tree with, but Gon declines. In the anime, he doesn't offer the hammer at all. When searching for the Strip of Beach card, in the manga, the collab team talked to some NPCs who warned them about the dangers of finding out information on the card. This is omitted from the anime. When Gon meets Dune in the manga, he asks him does he want an ending for himself or a generic one. Gon answers that he wants a generic one because he couldn't beat Greed Island without his friends. This was omitted from the anime. Almost the entirety of episode 76 is anime original. In the manga, Kite and Gon recognize each other almost immediately, which is not the case in the anime. Since Kite was never referenced before in the anime, this episode is the first time we see him. Also, when Kite shoots a Chimera ant pile, we have a flashback of him meeting Jing. This is all anime original content. In the anime, the story of Kurt, the guy who began Colt, and Reina is a little bit more fleshed out. We actually see their mother and Kurt protecting Reina before the Chimera ants attack. In the manga,
wow. So, by the way, unbelievable arc. This little arc, this whole little family arc was so good. One of the best arcs in the show. This is how you do, like, side characters properly. Till now, I get emotional thinking about her coming back and what was his name? What was his name? Bravada? Was his name Bravada? Whoever his name, you know who I'm talking about. Frickin' Heracross. No, not Colt. Heracross. That legend came back. Oh, man, I love that episode so much. That's one of my favorite episodes in the whole anime. Bravada, right? I swear his name's Bravada. The giant beetle bro who brings back Reina. And then they're just like, and then she's like, stay and have dinner. And he's like, all right, I'll have dinner. And it just ends. It just ends. So,
we actually see their mother and Kurt protecting Reina before the Chimera ants attack. In the manga, they are killed in pretty much 2 pages. In episode 78, we have an anime original moment where Colt actually sees his mother. In the manga, the mother isn't shown until chapter 215. In the anime, we actually see the NGL drug cartel shoot and kill a Chimera
I'm really intrigued
this
how they're going to
screen and only alluded to
deal
in the
with
manga
the mother
by
in
Turtle.
the manga.
In the anime, Kite talks about the drug D2 after NGL's nasty rumors are brought up by Stit Dinner. In the manga, Kite talks about D2 after going to Killua stumble across Gyro's narcotic factory.
By the way, just because it's in my head right now, chat, who's that character that they kept talking about in the ant arc that we never got to meet? If you guys remember, he was like the leader of a certain force, and they just kept saying his name throughout the whole arc. Gyro, yeah, Gyro. Still a mystery? Okay. I really hope we learn about that. I completely forgot about that.
We get more anime original content because we see how Ponzu and Poco knew about the Chimera ants being an
that'd be
NGL.
so cool.
In the anime, we see Peggy reading books, telling Turtle about guns. This is absent in the manga. In episode 79, we have anime original content where we see Poco kill 3 Chimera ants. We also get anime original content where we see a little bit of Yeonju taking over Gyro's underground hideout. In episode 80, we got the backstory of Gyro earlier than we did in the manga because we didn't get this backstory until chapter 203 when Killua and Gon escape from.
Can someone link me a clip and I'll watch it in a bit, chat, of Gyro's backstory? I need to watch that again. If someone can find it.
GL.
Or
in
remind me to search
81, we get anime original content where Zazan is explaining to the other Chimera ants what a rare human is. In the manga, the fight between Kite and Yeonjun was all panel. The anime actually showed the fight. In the manga, the fight between Killua and the Chimera ant in the forest was off panel. The anime actually showed the fight.
Good decision.
In episode 84, we get anime original content where we see Leo, Hina, and Flutter set up
another character I'm very intrigued by. Am I bugging? Isn't she pregnant currently? I'm bugging. I think I'm bugging. I think that was her power and something like that. I've watched so many animes, so that was her powers. Right. That was her powers. Hey, link it, Jofro, in Discord. Get it? Bugging? Because that's, yes, Albert. Yes, I'm glad you caught that. That is definitely what I meant, and it wasn't a complete accident. She is with the guy with the massive head, Welfin, and who else? Or is that it? It's them three, right? I really hope the mango, and don't confirm it or not, just keeps following the stories of all these characters. It's going to be a crazy difficult job, but...
ambush for Kite, Gon, and Killua. After Pito was done literally picking Poco's brain apart, in the manga, we see the pig Chimera ant butcher him. This is absent in the anime.
Bro, why?
In the anime, Pito theorizes how Ramont was able to develop his Nen by opening his pores from Gon's Jajakin. This is absent in the manga. In episode 85, we have anime original content where Kite gives Gon Jin's license.
Not 76.
In the anime, they show Miriam eating a part of Peggy, while the manga only alludes to it.
Who the hell's
Diego's
Peggy?
death is much more graphic in the manga as opposed to the anime, which only shows Miriam's tail swipe. In the anime, Chitu calls Leo by his original name.
Whose death?
To it. Diego's death is much.
Diego. Ah, the dictator. Wait, Pingu? Ah.
Anime original content where Kite gives Gon Jin's license. In the anime, they show Miriam eating a part of Peggy while.
Why did he eat Peggy? I forgot. Because he wanted to learn to read? I've forgotten so much, guys. I've watched so many animes. Leave me alone. Why did he kill him? I've completely forgotten. I full on forgot Pingu.
The
I actually
manga
forgot.
Only alludes to it. Diego's death is much more graphic in the manga as opposed to the anime, which only shows Miriam's tail swipe.
He was
in
just
the
a
anime,
savage.
Chitu calls Leo by his original name, Hagya. In the manga, Chitu doesn't do this at all. In the manga, when Pawn sleeps with Bezelf, we can see they got a little freaky because the bed appears to have sex toys and cameras pointed at the bed. This is.
Who did Palm sleep with? Oh, that's dark. Yeah, I remember that.
Is absent in the anime. In the anime.
Oh, that guy needs to die. And he's with Welfin and what's her name? Oh, he needs to die. Can't believe they kept that bastard alive. What is the mangaka planning with him?
Anime, we see Pawn get close to the staircase and feel the aura of Pito. This is absent in the manga. In the anime, we see Hina, Bezelf, and Reina escape and leave the garage doors open that led Welfin to Chicago. In the manga, this is absent. Welfin is just there. In the anime, Bezelf is confident that he can pass through the harbor because of his official government vehicle.
This guy
in the
needs
manga,
to die.
He has a backup plan of bribery since he has money. In the manga, Killua states one of Veluca's secrets.
Now, Yeah, he's only going to talk about the anime. Yeah, I'm good.
Which is that she calls him Killua when she is normal and brother when she turns into Nanika. In the anime, it is the exact opposite. In the manga, Katocha, the hacker hunter, is said to refuse to vote. In the anime, it is said that he can't vote since he lives in the digital world. The Lumi car crash scene is a tad bit different. In the anime, after the first semi-truck goes after the car that Killua is in, Canary is able to drive up a cliff before the second truck rams them. In the manga, Canary just drives past the first truck
that's such
and
good
gets hit
art.
by
Look
the
at that.
second. In the manga, Miluki is the one who hacks into Tsubone's eyepiece and feeds the video to Illumi. In the anime, Kikyo is the one that does this. In the anime, Teradane and Morel had their last conversation over the phone. In the manga, this conversation is over a video call on Teradane's laptop. So with that, people, that is it for the...
Well played. Good video. Damn, there were a lot of stuff going on in there, and it's reminded me how much I've forgotten about this show, because this show had so many bloody layers. So many. But it truly is a masterpiece. I'm not gonna lie. I might get the manga. I might start. How many books are there after the anime? I don't say chapters. I just say how many books are there. I might get it. I honestly might start reading it. Might have to be done.